Chantelle, were you worried when you got to the scorecards and you heard a draw on the first scorecard?
Yeah, I was worried. Got a big job.
Chantelle, you were bigger in there. Did you feel that you were able to sort of use your weight and land, obviously, the heavier punches, and that was taking a toll on Katie?
Yeah, Katie definitely had the speed, but I was the bigger girl, and I was using my strengths.
Did he run the rematch straight back?
Yeah, I think obviously we have to speak to Chantelle and team. There is a rematch build up. I don't think Katie will be able to sleep until that fight, but it was a tremendous fight, and Chantelle mentioned something interesting in about fighting maybe for Katie's belt. I don't know what they're going to want to do, but we've become a 2-division undisputed champion, but obviously it's going to be a massive fight, but tonight belongs to Chantelle Cameron.
Jamie, for you, I know it's not always been the easy road. You've had to push for fights and sometimes you haven't been able to get them. It's been frustrating. After Abu Dhabi, that was an incredible night, and tonight I imagine the pinnacle and all. Just how good does it feel?
Yeah, it feels nice. I just think first time a big show has happened in the Republic for 6 or 7 years. I'm just glad that in a tough competitive fight, the right winner came out, and the sport isn't tainted in a bad light again, which it has been in the past. I'm just glad the right person won, and I'm just over the moon for the shot.
Jamie, obviously, when we done our interview a couple of days ago, you said to me, Katie Taylor's made a mistake. You obviously believe that now, but what were the reasons behind that? Chantelle too big, hand speed, what was it?
I just, styles are everything. And 5 years ago when Chan first came to my gym, I said, you've got the style, what's needed to beat Katie Taylor. And if you keep working hard, you'll beat her. One day you'll beat her. And that day's come around and happened. And I told you it was going to happen. Just do it, just scream if you want.
Get in! How do you feel with him?
The hardest job in the world is not coaching any of the fights, he's making sure he's keeping him straight and narrow.
Chantelle, is that one of the hardest fights of your career?
Oh yeah, definitely. Katie's a great fighter, great ambassador for the sport, and always knew it was going to be a tough night. And we come to Dublin, her homecoming, everything was against me, everything was in favour of Katie, but I showed what I'm about.
When do you head home, Chantelle? What are you most looking forward to doing when you get back with your title intact?
To be fair, I'm just excited for the spice bag tonight.
They asked Eddie about the rematch, but for you, would you give Katie the rematch, go for September maybe if it comes around?
Speak to my team, I think went for undisputed against McCaskill. She never put her belts on the line. This time Katie come up to my way again. I put my belts on the line. I've 2 times now beat 2 undisputed world champions back to back. And tonight everything was in Katie's favour, so speak to my team, see what's next, and I'm just going to enjoy this win and see what happens.
You hold all the cards in?
We'll see.
I think she deserves a homecoming herself, to be fair. She's travelled, she's been away from home to get a world title. I know she won the first one was at MK Donovan, but she's done everything asked of her, and I think some of the terms maybe deserves to be in Chantelle's favour now.
Do you want me to ask Eddie that?
If you don't mind.
Eddie?
Wherever it makes sense, obviously there is already a clause in place, but again, it's not, tonight. You'll see the fight again, in my opinion, but tonight's about a great performance from Chantelle Cameron. And what she said is right. Jessica McCaskill was undisputed at 147. She came down to challenge for Chantelle for undisputed. And Katie came up, she's undisputed at lightweight. She's beat 2 reigning undisputed champions back to back. It's an incredible run.
Chantelle, did you take inspiration from the hostility of the crowd?
Oh, I was buzzing off it.
Sorry?
I was buzzing off it.
It's a great ring. It's got 8 different songs.
Shout out Hannah once.
But Chantelle, as you were walking out, as Katie was walking out, it took a long time. It must have felt lonely. Did you feel the nerves in those moments? I mean, you looked quite calm, but you must have felt inside churning emotions.
No, if you see me all week, I'm cool, calm and collected. I swear I've got my team around me, and that's all I need. All it is noise, and that's what I kept thinking, it's just noise. As soon as that bell goes, I do what I do every day in the gym.
And once the fight's underway, does the noise die away because you're so locked into
It's
exchanging?
irrelevant, it's tunnel vision all day.
What was your corner saying to you during the fight?
All sorts.
I would just say, early on, we was totally in control, I felt, for the first 4 or 5 rounds. Maybe dropped the 5th round, I think it was. But I just said, keep doing what you're doing. I thought Katie came back really well in those sort of middle rounds, 7-8, and closed the gap a little bit. But I think the only reason she was able to do that was because Chantelle sort of allowed her to do it. I actually thought she'd start quicker, I've got to be honest with you, but now in hindsight looking at her, she was trying to conserve herself for those later rounds.
She started so fast as well.
Yeah. And I think she knew Chantelle was going to come on late, so she tried to conserve it for late and drop the early rounds in doing so. But Eddie's right, you know, that was a great fight tonight, and too many times in boxing we have a great fight and we don't see rematches because egos get involved, or these, you know, people asking for too much money. That should be run back without a doubt, and hopefully it's on our terms this time, because I think Chantelle deserves it. But without a doubt, Katie Taylor's done so much for the sport in terms of attracting so many girls into the sport. We're only sat here in a way because of Katie Taylor, so she deserves the rematch, but I think it should be done more on Chantelle's terms.
Chantelle, in boxing terms, what do you feel were your keys to victory tonight? What did you do best?
I think in my work rate, I'm always fit and got a high work rate. I'm tough, I know how to work on the inside and just do what I do every day in the gym. And my team see it every day and just had faith in me and just had to execute.
You tended to go to the body quite frequently, you using left and right hooks to the body. Did you feel you hurt Taylor at any stage? Did you feel her grimace or move back away from your shots?
I heard a few rumours that she don't like body shots, so I was going for them.
So you planned for them, you practiced them, and you carried it out tonight?
And did you got bumps on your head, and obviously there was a lot of close fighting when Katie and you were coming together and stuff like that. Was these punches or heads clashing? What were they?
A lot of head clashing.
Chantelle, you've just been one of the greatest of all time. Are you pound for pound number one now?
She's too modest. If Katie Taylor...
She's just beat the pound for pound.
Exactly. If Katie Taylor was already ranked number one pound for pound, which I believe she was, then if somebody's just beaten her, then surely that makes her the best pound for pound.
Ask Nigel that question.
He's pound for pound.
Are you mad? Are you mad? She's the undisputed for a reason. She's the pound for pound number one. She's the pound for pound number one. In the best in the...
Tell him, Nige.
In the world.
Can somebody
in the world.
Can somebody take him out, please?
20p in him.
Chantelle, congratulations.
Thank you.
When you won your undisputed title for the first time, all the footage backstage, you know, you were thinking about what do I do next, where do I go next. There was a lot of talk in the lead up to this fight for Katie and her legacy and what this means for her. When are the moments where you look back and you go, you know, this is my legacy, and now you've cemented your legacy, you've created history for yourself? When are the moments where you kind of sit back and acknowledge everything?
So when I won undisputed, I remember I was speaking to Jamie and Nigel and said, what is going to be next? Because I never thought the Katie fight would ever come about, and it was kind of like, I don't want to just box and mandatory and not go anywhere else. And it was a bit like, I remember I was just saying, what are we going to do? I've just been on such a high, how am I going to get this high again? And then it's just crazy how Katie called me out, and obviously I beat her tonight, and I feel like I achieved one mountain and I've just climbed another mountain. So yeah, I don't even know what's next now.
How much more do you respect Katie? Obviously you respected her, as you said to me, you know, you were a fan of Katie, but obviously sharing the ring with her, but then her stepping up, calling you out that she's never done before, stepping up to face you up in a higher weight. So how much do you respect her even more now, which is probably a dumb question, but do you?
I've always had huge respect for Katie. That was one of my fears going into the ring tonight, and Jamie kept saying to me like, no respect, making sure that I didn't give her...
Not in a bad way, by the way. Just to make sure she was in the right frame of mind.
Because so many people, it's so easy to give Katie so much respect for what she's done, and I had to go in there and let it go out the window, because you can't help but respect her. She's a nice woman, great athlete, great boxer, and what she's done for women's boxing is unbelievable. So it is very hard not to show that sort of respect. And tonight for me it was about making sure they went out the window with the win.
You still go to Crook Park, Eddie?
Yeah, I mean, again, we have to say, like, you know, like Chantelle said, you know, she walked first tonight. I mean, Katie got on the scales first yesterday, but I don't think she was supposed to, but she's got on there. So, but, you know, I think a lot of male fighters can learn a lot about, if you believe you can win, sometimes you haven't got to let the ego get involved. Chantelle's come and she's never once felt like the victim you know, oh, I've not got this and I've not got that. She went, I understand. She's the star, and I believe I can beat her if I have to do that. But now she's beaten her. So, you know, Katie was the challenger tonight, but I mean, actually, ironically, she may be the champion next time. And if you do it lightweight, but again, it's really, I'm like Jamie said, the biggest fight in women's boxing right now is Chantelle Cameron against Katie Taylor too, basically. So, you know, we'll find a way. But it's, at the moment, she deserves her break, her respect, because I believe she has to call herself pound for pound number one after that performance and beating Jessica McCaskill as well.
Chantelle, do you think you've broken Katie's aura of being pound for pound and maybe unbeatable? And people will look at it now and say, yeah, I can beat her now.
We went into this fight we had the blueprint anyway, but Katie is such a great boxer. I think she's going to want the rematch because she's going to want to put this night to bed and try to get the win over me. But like I said, now it's on my terms, and I'll speak to my team and we'll see what's next.
Would it make any difference if it was in the UK or here? Or?
I don't know, we'll see.
Chantelle, what did you tell Katie in the ring after the fight?
Just said great fight and thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
What's she saying to you, Chantelle?
Great fight.
How many rounds did you feel you won, Chantelle?
It was hard to call because I never really think when I'm fighting about what rounds I'm winning. I'm just tunnel vision and just throwing my hands and just getting the job done. So to be honest with you, I don't go by rounds.
Right. Well, what about your team? Like, what?
I scored 7-3. In my mind, going at the end of the fight, I did 7-3. So you can't complain with 6-4. I thought the draw was harsh, but I thought 6-4. You couldn't argue with that.
Hi, I'm Kristal Hart. Welcome to the Kristal Hart Show. We are at the 3 Arena in Dublin, Ireland, and the homecoming for Katie Taylor was just ruined by Chantelle Cameron. And here's the coach, Nigel.
Travis.
Hey. Well, tell me a little bit about this victory and what happened tonight.
Katie Taylor got beat by the best fighter in the world, who's Chantelle Cameron. Chantelle Cameron did everything that we knew she would, that she said she would, that she has worked for her whole life, was meant for this, and this is just the start as far as I'm concerned. Chantelle Cameron should be now ranked the pound for pound number one in the female boxing world, and hopefully she gets her just desserts now.
You know, and how, everything was in Katie Taylor's favor as far as the whole promotion and here in Ireland. How do you keep so positive? I mean, did you ever think maybe if it was close that it would go towards Taylor instead of Cameron?
Yeah, of course, you can't help but it. Listen, if you're educated in this sport, you know there are some terrible decisions. People use the word subjective all the time, saying it's not subjective. One person, sometimes it's quite clear, and sometimes people basically get jobbed, as we say over here, to get the decision taken away from them unfairly. I never felt that tonight that was going to happen. Obviously, everything was in Katie Taylor's favour. Chantelle Cameron risked everything. She risked all her belts. Katie Taylor's undisputed, and at 135, and she risked nothing. She was aiming for greatness, and good luck to her. Katie Taylor is a great fighter. I doff my cap accordingly, and she deserves to be praised for what she's done for this sport. But tonight, Chantelle Cameron was the better fighter. End of story.
It was a majority decision. It was fast and furious. It was such an exciting fight. It went so fast.
Yeah. The 2-minute rounds do that, and they make the girls fight at a different pace than the guys. So again, that's another conversation about whether there should be 2s or 3s. Doesn't matter to me. My girl deserves to win tonight. Chantelle Cameron deserves to keep all her belts, and now to be promoted from whatever rank that she was to now be the pound for pound number one in our sport.
Well, thank you, Nigel. Travis, did I get that right? From 3 Arena here in Dublin, Ireland. Yes. Give me a little
yeah.
victory.
God bless.
Thank you.